All right, so this video is going to be a little bit different, and as you can tell, it's sort of a vlog style in the title itself. I'm going to explain in this video really how I've gotten to the point where I'm at today in business. Last year, making six figures in my first year in business in the daily fantasy sports space, really as a media company, and then this year projecting to make right around double that, if not as more sort of a median projection of around $200,000. Now, throughout this video, I'll explain how I do that, but I really want to start documenting sort of the backside of the business side of this, whether it's through these sort of just sit downs right here, these fireside sit downs, if you will, or actually walking around when I can, when the pandemic is over, depending on when you're watching this, and walking around and adding a vlog style to it, mainly for my own selfish purposes, just to kind of document my life. I have this phone right here that has a broken camera for the past year and a half, and it's just been the last thing that I've thought about fixing and not really being a big need until I realized that it is, when about a year of my life documentation wise as a kid, having cassette tapes and things like that, I usually would document via my phone, Snapchat stories, obviously your photos archive, and for the past year there's been nothing there. So I do have all my YouTube content, but that's just one side of me, right? That's specific daily fantasy sports, that's fantasy related videos. So I want to document sort of the process of just really the strides that I take in business, where the business is going to take. My business is Vetri Media LLC. I want to kind of explain where we got to today, give you the numbers for people who want to be creators out there, who are creators out there, find solutions to how you should be running a better business. I think any single creative business has opportunities if people just find the business savviness. Like, you can be the best creator in the world, and if you have no idea about marketing, one, sales, two, and just business in general, you are not going to do well in terms of being able to make that your full-time career. So I started in October of 2018. I started creating fantasy football content. A few months before that, I bought a camera set and I was doing just random YouTube videos, whatever would stick at that point. I made some money, about $5,000 or $6,000, doing a course review for somebody's social media marketing course that I took, and it started me. That was the first introduction to affiliate marketing I had, and I started going, wow, this stuff is pretty cool. So I started making YouTube content more, and I've always loved fantasy sports. I made a DFS video for like week 4 of the NFL season in October of 2018, and it picked up like 1,000 views. And all the videos I was making before this would pick up, if I was lucky, like 200 views, right? So I was like, wow, that's crazy in one day. So I started making more content in that area. I was getting better at it, and it seemed to be a little bit of a strong feel towards the content. People enjoyed what I was putting out there, what I had to say. I thought there were some tendencies and some tricks I was using, having myself on camera. There wasn't many people doing that in the industry, actually providing good statistics and information along with the personality. Not many people doing that in the industry. So I kind of took it off and grew from there into different sports, reaching out to people in the industry like Pat Mayo, like Adam Levitan. Shout out to both of you if you ever one day see this. I've worked with both of them before in the industry. Now, since then, they just gave me advice. Pat Mayo's was to try and get into different sports. Pat Mayo himself does both football, both golf is some of his bigger sports that he's doing year round, and that sustains your content creation, that sustains your business, your media company throughout that. Adam Levitan had a lot to say in terms of search engine optimization, SEO, and kind of finding out all the hacks in that area. That's something that I've learned a lot about since, not only on YouTube, but vlogging platforms, just websites for SEO on Google, and podcasts as well. So that's sort of the background of how it all got started. Now, my inspiration to start was just, very similar to many people who have a side hustle. They just didn't want to work a 40-hour job. I had internships. I thought they were not fun. I thought that the money that I would have been getting paid was nowhere near what I deserved for the amount of work I was going to put into somebody's company. So I wanted to do something else of my own. Last August, in August of 2019, I finally decided to do it full time. I was making around a few $1,000s a month, maybe $2,000 a month via YouTube advertisement, a random one-off partnership here and there with a company in this space, and then also Patreon, where I was doing what I do still today, like a subscription service with tools and information and extra content, and that was through the MLB, the NBA playoffs, and the WNBA. So I was making about $2,000 a month side income. It wasn't a lot, but I knew with the NFL upcoming that could easily maybe double, and I'd be making $4,000 a month and $48,000 a year, branching that out if you would. My channel went from 3,000 subscribers to 19,000 subscribers through the NFL season, getting on shows with Awesemo. I still do those. Pat Mayo being very generous enough to invite me on about half of his Monday waiver wire shows. That obviously helped get my name out there a little bit more. And from that point, I started to, and I have the numbers on my screen right here, and I'll share some of the expenses and the projections for this following year, but I started to really ramp up the income in terms of more sponsorships, in terms of just learning a lot more about the industry itself and what was available and the ways and tendencies to market in this industry, while still, without a doubt, providing the best content possible that I can and the best value possible. So what happened was my income went from, let's say at the beginning of 2019, maybe $200 to $300 a month just from YouTube ads. I was able to monetize my YouTube channel on Christmas Day 2018. That means I had 1,000 YouTube subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And what happens there is you pretty much get a rate, and I got about a $10 to $12 cost per 1,000 views, which most YouTubers maybe get $1 or $2. So very fortunate to be in the space, very similar to finance in that 99% of my audience is males 25 to 55 looking to spend money. That pays well on YouTube. So if I have a video that gets me 10,000 views, normally I'll make somewhere between like $120 and $150 off of that. Now that's not usually any time except the NFL season, but that's usually where it will spike for just full transparency. So what happens next is I start to just create content more in the NBA space than in the MLB, just trying to keep that wave of content going, build my following, and then the NFL season comes and it just shoots off from August to really October now, or December. And now really October was the big prime month, but October, November, December is where I sort of, in a way, peaked for 2019. Was making around $18,000 to $20,000 a month in those 3 months. It scaled up very quickly from $2,000 to $3,000 in July to then in August being quickly double that, to September being then quickly double that number. And it was just exponential growth with my YouTube following. My YouTube following 6x the amount of money that I was making from July to October in that exact same span or so, ended up 9xing, something like that. Now, my only regret from last year was not going full-time earlier. If you are in a position where you think that the opportunity is there, take your chance. Now, don't just be right now working a 40-hour job and jump off your job with no backup plan. Have something built up on the side that has sustainability and legs behind it. If there is the months of July and August and even June for NFL season-long content, dynasty drafts, mock drafts, all of that stuff, there's a lot of taking there in terms of people want to look it up. Those are the videos and search it. Those are the videos that can pop off for 100,000 plus views on YouTube, and I fully intend to be making daily content for that starting right now if you've been seeing my channel. So those 2 months, although there was exponential growth, it could go even more than that. So I'm talking right now I have 20,000 YouTube subscribers. By the time that maybe I record another vlog or my 5th vlog at that point in the end of August, there's a good chance that I could have 40,000 or 35,000 YouTube subscribers because of having a successful NFL season-long content season between June and August. And then we get really deep into it starting in August for DFS, and we just go from there. So that's sort of the background on where I'm at right now. I would say, like, people want to know tips on how to get started in any space, and this video might be titled so that it reaches out to not just the people in the fantasy sports community or fantasy media or sports media, but any space. The first tip is work. It's as simple as that. I worked 80 to 100-hour weeks. Now, some people might not have to work 80 to 100-hour weeks. I still do that now, even in the quarantine, spending a lot of my time researching and strategizing and preparing for long-term stuff. And I'll get into how the quarantine is affecting my life. My senior year, I did a 5-year program at Penn State. Shout out Penn State on my hat. We'll see where KJ Hamler goes in the draft. Hopefully he goes in the second day, not the third day. But work. I pretty much forego my social life in my senior year of college, my 5th year of college, if you will, in that 5-year program. I went out maybe 3 nights. I was somebody who would go out 3 or 4 nights, like a very standard college student with a social life. I had a ton of friends, a ton of roommates that I went to high school with, and that was probably the hardest point. I knew that if I wanted to be able to create content, I would have to get up at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning at Penn State before classrooms opened at around 7:45, 8 a.m. for students, and I would have to go film my videos. I would walk 20 to 30 minutes sometimes at 5:30, 6 a.m. in the morning to film my videos because I had nowhere else to film them. I shared an apartment with 4 other good friends. I shared a room with a very close friend of mine. I was not going to be the obnoxious person to say, you can't come in your room today. So that's the sacrifices that you have to make. Work. If I was going to go out 3 or 4 nights a week, there's no way I was going to wake up at 5:30 or 6 a.m. in the morning when I was going to bed at 3 a.m. Drunk, right? There was just no way. So those are my sacrifices. Obviously, everybody watching this is not in college. Some of you are. If you are in college and your excuse is that you do not have time, you are full of crap. I will say that to you right now. You have all the time in the world. Are you waking up at 9 a.m.? Are you waking up at 10 a.m.? Are you even waking up at 7 a.m.? You were waking up too late if you really want to start something on your own. Wake up at 5, get it all done, get ahead of the game. Don't try and take shortcuts. There's no such thing as shortcuts. If you're looking online at, and I'm not going to try and make this video clickbaity, but if you're looking at line on how I made, or like how to make $100,000 or how to do this, it's going to show a process, and people are going to lay it out very easy for you. What I'm trying to do here is give you the realistic and transparent view. It is going to take 80 to 100 hours a week of you researching a ton of stuff, of you watching a ton of videos, reading a ton of books, and learning for yourself. If you try and take shortcuts, you will not have the proper education and tools in your toolkit, your professional personal toolkit, your entrepreneurial toolkit, if you will, to actually be able to take those steps and be patient enough. If you are looking for shortcuts, there's no way you are patient enough to start a business and run a successful business. So work, work, work. Do not look for shortcuts. My 3 pillars of what content needs. Consistency in your content, meaning for me, every single day. If you're posting a video once a week, that's a good starting point. But if I was to post a video once a week in my space, or really any space, I would maybe have 1,000 followers right now. I post a video 7 days a week at minimum right now, maybe sometimes 5 days a week if there's holidays, but normally 7 days a week at minimum. Some days I'll do an extra video if I do a live stream that day. And the reason being is, if I make 7 videos a week and 365 videos a day compared to somebody making 50 videos a day once a week, I'm going to beat that person every single time. Even if I start with 0 subscribers, in the long run, 10 years from now, I'm going to beat them every single time. The YouTube algorithm loves watch time. The more time that people watch your videos, not the percentage of how much they watch them, the more time they watch them, the better. So the more videos you watch, the better you're going to start ranking in the algorithm. The algorithm picks up your tendencies. Bam, you either pop off, or bam, you're either showed more to your competitors. Same exact thing, or your viewers. Same exact thing for podcasts, Google SEO. So the more content you can pump out, the better. I would recommend having a 5-day-a-week schedule of content to 7-day-a-week content, at least when you start, because if you're starting from 0, you have a huge mountain to climb. That does not mean you can't climb it, but you have to stay consistent. If you take a 5-week break to climb your mountain, you're going to maybe get a little bit different and say, I don't know if I want to climb this mountain anymore. If you're doing it every single day consistently, you're going to get in shape, you're going to get better, you're going to pace yourself, and you're going to have motivation. Number 2, quality. You have to just have quality. You have to be good on camera. That takes time, comfort, or podcast, whatever your form is. But in terms of videos, you have to be quality. You have to have, that takes into account equipment. So I don't have the top of the line webcam or mic, and I plan to upgrade hopefully in a couple of months to that once this coronavirus is over and the shortage and the demand of the pricing on this stuff doesn't, it's like 2x right now than what it should be. It's crazy. But I plan to upgrade, but I've been doing this for 2 years and I haven't upgraded yet. This is a $60 mic. That is a $100 webcam, which might sound like a lot, but trust me, it is not a lot to start up, pretty much $200 to start up your own online business, if you will, once you add in the podcast hosting. And number 3 is transparency. And that's what I hope that this, not only in my content every day do I aim and try to be very transparent, but that's what I hope that these vlogs do. Now, I don't care if 2 of you watch this. Hopefully one of you watching this is getting some sort of value. But I'm doing this for mainly myself as a documentation style of my business. Maybe if I ever get to 100,000 subscribers, I can do a vlog for the 100,000 and point back to this first vlog. So I'm trying to get everybody caught up to where I am today. And then also trying to be as transparent as possible moving forward. If I sign a $5,000 a month advertising deal for 6 months, $30,000 YouTube brand deal, right? If I do that, I want to be able to make a vlog about me signing that and talking people through it, how I did it, what the company is, if they're okay with that, and talking about all the aspects of it. I want to be very transparent. I want this to be a very cool lifestyle type of a vlog, but also just business acumen, savviness in there, but somewhat of a personality flair as well. And then my final tip is just start now. So just start right now. I think that the biggest thing is people saying, not today, it's not a good time. You're obviously going to be scared. You're obviously going to be judged. I was judged a ton. I was judged by very close friends. There was nights where I was feeling very sad, anxious. I had a good support system behind me, but you're going to be judged. I saw a quote, and I'll try and find the picture and post it somewhere next to me here. Pretty much said, first they will make fun of you, then they will question how you did it. First they will make fun of you, then they will start asking you questions on how you did it, and then they will copy you. So that is exactly what happens. And no matter what you do, if you're doing something different from the norm, you're going to stand out. And even if it's in a positive way, and you know it's in a positive way, people will think that you're full of shit, or people will just think that you're weird, whatever it might be. So just don't worry about them. They will surely come along at some point. So just start now. Now, number 3, but people are probably watching this. Vetri Media is my company. I formed an LLC at the beginning of this year. I was a sole proprietor last year. Last year, I didn't start going full time. So I started from really being a college student making a few $100s a month from this side hustle to August making around $2,500 to $3,000 a month, or that was July. And then August, it started really ramping up with the NFL season. I ended up making $90,000 last year, but keeping in mind that only about half of that year, less than half of that year, I was doing it full time. My projections this year, and I'll put them up on the screen right now for anybody that's interested. This is my P and loss for this year. So this is a projection. Now this is, I would say, a lower end to median projection. What that means is I'm not trying to project too high. I think you should always under project your projections, especially when the coronavirus is going on. But I think you should always under project your projections so that you're not overspending, you're not allocating too much money to future investments, whatever it might be. You're not in a cash bind. Now, luckily in the online media space, especially in this space, having cash on hand is as easy as it comes, in my opinion. I don't have any employees, at least. I don't have any contractors currently. I will share that I am trying to work with a video editing contractor for like 1 or 2 videos a week, somebody maybe to help me out with a website right now. So what you're seeing on the screen is my revenue. Now my earnings before tax. So this is after I take out my costs. I'm looking at around 192,000. Now I think that number is, I'm not really building in too much growth. And if I build in growth, like we mentioned, if I can go from 20,000 subscribers to 40,000 or 45,000 become December, that number is surely going to be a good amount higher, if not a lot higher. So how am I planning for the coronavirus, and how am I shooting lower? Well, naturally, I'm just not building in too much growth, although there's going to be growth. Again, going from 3,000 to 20,000 subscribers, and just knowing the tendencies of really July to December in this industry for football, you're going to see growth. There's going to be traffic, especially since I already have an established base of 20,000 subscribers. I'm going to be put in front of a lot more people than somebody who has 5 subscribers, right? So I'm not projecting in too much growth really at all. I'm projecting in a very slight growth uptick of maybe like 5%, whereas I can easily double in size. So not projecting much growth. I'm projecting in a 30% reduction for the next 3 months. I'm shooting this at the end of April. That is for the coronavirus. I have not seen a hit in April. I've stayed steady from March to April, but I probably would have made more in April had the XFL still been going on. So I probably have taken a hit in April, just not a month-to-month hit, but an upside hit for sure. Then also costs. Costs I've kind of hit on the upside of it. So like I'm projecting in higher costs, I'm projecting in lower income, and I'm projecting in no growth. That's obviously a bottom of the barrel type scenario or closer to it. Now the thing about costs is, you can see right here, costs in this industry, in really any online business, if you don't have employees or a legal team that you're paying or whatever it might be, my costs are going to range from somewhere around 3 to 4% this year. So you can see that the profit margin in this industry in any online business is going to be huge, because I don't have to pay rent, I don't have to pay utilities, I don't have to pay for inventory. It's all digital products. It's all me. I don't have to pay for a marketing budget. I am my own organic marketing. So that is why that this business is very, very lucrative, not just in the fantasy sports or media in general. Anything online business related where you have digital products and you're not holding inventory, drop shipping, whatever you might be doing, is fantastic because the costs are so low. Your risks, and realistically, it would cost me, I don't know, on average $550, $600 a month in expenses for this business. So even if my income drops very, very low to where it's around $15,000 a month right now on the bad months, even if it drops to $5,000 a month, and like coronavirus just shoots out so many things for me, there is still so little cost in this industry that I can stay afloat. Many people can stay afloat. You don't have to have debt in this industry. When I opened my business account, they asked me, and they kept saying you should get a credit card for your business to establish debt in your business name. And I said, yeah, no, I'm good. I understand what that does. I understand that it builds your credit score. I understand that it also is leveraging a little bit negatively for your business. In my opinion, when I have a lot of cash on hand, there is zero reason to be getting a credit card, because why do you get a credit card? So you can take out a loan. So you can buy a workplace, right? An office in the business's name. I don't plan on buying an office right now, number one, anytime soon. And number two, I don't plan on taking out any type of loan anytime soon, because the only expenses I need are equipment based, and those can be easily cash flowed with the style that this is coming in with. So these are my projections. Now I'll give you my revenue streams here, and these revenue streams are surely probably going to change, but this would be my projections, and this is very similar to what last year was. So Patreon is sort of my subscription service right now, where I put a lot of my tools. That is hopefully going to be offloaded onto a website. Maybe by the NFL season, still Patreon will be up and running as I try and filter people over. This is ideally what would happen, onto a personal website where I can just host it on WordPress, have some people working on that now for me. But Patreon was around 54%, 53.9% of my income last year, and it's around that, what that will be this year. Sponsors are about 15% last year, 14% this year, and this sponsors and affiliates are what can really go up here. Everything can go up if the growth happens, but sponsors, so my sponsors last year, I had Fantasy Draft, which is a DFS spot. I have Monkey Knife Fight I just signed a 6-month deal with. I'll have Sportscaster, which is usually in the corner of all my videos. They're a streaming platform. They took a shot on me before I even had more than 2,000 subscribers, and I'm really growing with the platform. They have backers like the late great David Stern, Richard Sherman. They have some big names behind them. Really awesome. You should check it out. It's like a Twitch for just sports. And then I have just other one-off spots that I'll deal with, whether it's drafters.com, whether it's Super Draft. There's other ones in there that I have dealt with and that I will deal with and that I'm in the future talking to. So those sponsorships are brand deals. They're people paying me to mention them organically, like Monkey Knife Fight. I will be having their logo on the screen in my videos. I'll have their props on the screen and just organically mention them, sometimes give them a shout out for what the offer actually is. The more organic that you can work somebody's just tools into your content, I think it makes for better just conversion rates. If I'm pitching a 30-second ad, people are going to skip that. People are going to go numb to it because they hear so many ads. If I'm just saying Monkey Knife Fights props, if I'm just saying Monkey Knife Fights or fantasy draft salaries, and I say fantasy draft 20 times in the video organically by mentioning this is a salary on fantasy draft today. And if you're not related to fantasy, I'm just organically marketing it. I'm not pushing it. I'm just actually talking about their products and how it's helpful for today. I think that's a better way to kind of get conversions in that regard. So Patreon sponsors affiliates is when I get a percentage of somebody I sign up either for life, which is very rare, although I have one deal that does that, or just for that time. So Monkey Knife Fight, I get $100 currently per person that I bring to them. There's many different ways you can bring people to them. There's a lot of people who do sketchy marketing that think it works. Me posting a link on Twitter or on somebody's YouTube comments, which happens to me all the time, an affiliate link is the worst possible way to brand. You burn a bridge, one, and number two, nobody's going to click on a link from a stranger and sign up with it. Here's the thing. If you're walking on the street and your friend is selling what looks to be some donuts, right? You'll probably buy a donut from your friend or be more likely to. If a complete stranger is selling some donuts, maybe you're hungry, but a complete stranger is selling some donuts who looks a little bit sketchy, you're not going to buy that donut from him. That's very similar to what affiliate says. You have to build a relationship with people and your community. They have to trust you, and you have to trust that you're giving them a valuable tool and or experience. So affiliates, you get paid on a per sign-up basis. YouTube advertising is just how much I get paid. I get that $10 to $12 per click rate. Contracting work, this is some of my work. I do, so I'm a media company. I do most of my work, far majority of it, 85% of it or so in the fantasy sports space, but I also do contracting work outside of it, whether it's just for creating content, whether it's consulting. I do contracting work for Awesemo. If you're familiar with this industry, I do some shows. I'm an on-air personality for them, an analyst for them, 1 or 2 or 3 times a week, depending on the season, and they pay me on an hourly basis, on a showly basis for that. And then I have courses make up on screen. You can see 1.1% of my income. Now you might be saying, Sal, why are you even doing courses? They only gave you $2,000 this year projecting, and last year they actually gave me around $7,000, but I'm doing it a little bit differently. I can make that courses number easily be 15 to 20,000 if I put the time and effort in, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. If I sell a course for $30, that's not really that fun to me. What you can do with courses is you can use them as a marketing tool to get affiliate signups. So if I make a course like I have for the League of Legends, and it takes me a couple days to make, a week to make, and I sell it for $30, or I tell you, you can get this course for free if you sign up for Monkey Knife Fight for $10, you get it for a third of the price, win for you. I get the $100 for Monkey Knife Fight, triple plus the money for me, and Monkey Knife Fight gets a depositing user. Everybody wins in that scenario. It's actually a very good setup there in model. So that's why that courses number is so low, because I expect to use my courses as a freebie this year. People are still going to buy the courses for, they don't have access to Monkey Knife Fight in that state. They just don't see the offer, whatever it might be. So that's why I'm building in that. But that courses number could very easily be 0, and every single amount of that courses number can be put into affiliates. So realistically, I think I can get affiliates to maybe like 50,000 this year if I do well with my NFL course. And ideally, the courses number would stay low in that regard, because that means I'm using my course as a marketing engine, a marketing tool. I could show you the costs. The costs are not really anything. CTG is cleaning the glass. It's a basketball stats database. It's $5 a month. I canceled it right now because there's no basketball. Email marketing, podcast hosting, prorated refunds on Patreon. That's just me refunding people back because they signed up mid-month and giving them 50% back. You get those all as expenses, business expenses. Electric for my workspace, Wi-Fi, CPA costs for doing things like my taxes, setting up my LLC. Marketing budget is only $71. That's me paying my brother, honestly, for full transparency, some money to do a graphic here for me or there. That's me testing out Facebook ads, $5 or $10 here or there a month, and seeing what works. Course hosting is around $40 a month as well. You can see, as I'll put up the P&L once again, the projections at least, this is a low number for me. This is if the next 3 months go a third of my income drops because of the coronavirus, which has not yet been the case. I think there's a lot of upside here. This is with no real growth. I think the biggest upside right now for me is June to August, really cracking down, getting quality content and consistent content. My saying right there, quality, consistent, transparent, during the season of NFL, the regular season, where you're going to get the season-long players from really July and August, those big months. I have videos right now that have gotten 10,000 views. They average towards the middle to end of football season 6,000 to 8,000 views on a video, and I would release 4 or 5 a week. That's fantastic. The upside in the months of July and August for season-long NFL is like your average video getting 20,000. Your biggest videos popping off for 100K plus views. That is fantastic. I would like to, in theory, be able to get some of that. So I'm already putting out some content. You can check it out. But yeah, that's the breakdown. But long term, what I would like to be doing is like being a creative consultant, almost helping companies, helping other individuals And this is why it's a media company I can branch off. I would love to be continuing to put out the fantasy content as long as possible. And then on the side of that, in the off seasons of football, not covering as many sports maybe at that point, being a creative consultant for bigger companies, for individuals, whether it's creating creative hubs and really like think tanks, or if it's just coming in and saying, oh, Target, you want to put a podcasting studio in your back office so that you can make your own organic content and stop paying, I don't know who their partner is, so-and-so media company, $25,000 a month. Yeah, here you go. Start doing it yourself. Start producing your own content. Because right now, as a person with 20,000 followers and subscribers on YouTube in the fantasy sports space, let's just take any optimizer of your choosing in this space. Odds are they don't produce their own content. Maybe they do, but if their optimizer or their software is their main tool, there's really a good chance they're partnering with a content partner, right? If I was somebody who was a content creator and then I create my own software, which is the end goal here, things that I have been trying to work at, I have a ton of leverage. I have a show, I have a piece of software, I own it all, I can market organically there. Anybody in the industry, if you're paying somebody else or you're partnering up with somebody else, they are leveraging you. They have a deal on you. They are one, taking your money, they two, have the audience that you kind of need. So having it all organically in-house creates so much leverage. So long-term, having some sort of software, some sort of database site would be nice. I am planning right now, because of the coronavirus, some more long-term stuff in marketing and getting a website up for the NFL season. Hopefully it's going to be a close call, but we'll see if it could all work out. Hiring contractors to help me, outsourcing a little bit more, tightening up my thumbnails. You can see the designs have been getting better, more time there, graphics, my process in general. So that's a long-term view. Really working with other creatives in a collaborative space is also a goal of mine, but that's not really a business goal. Maybe it is. So how is coronavirus impacting me right now is something I want to talk about in this vlog. And honestly, I know that it's coronavirus is hitting a lot of people. I'm lucky enough to have an online business and work for myself, so I'm kind of able to control and pivot very quickly compared to bigger companies. I was able to pivot literally the hour that Rudy Gobert and the NFL shut down. I was able to pivot and start my plan, and a lot of other bigger companies would take days to do that, or weeks. It's been a blessing in disguise for me personally. I know it has been awful just because of the lives that it's actually impacting, both your actual health of family members, yourself, friends, and financially, right? I understand how bad it's been, and it is going to hit me financially. It's going to hit everybody. Making day-to-day daily fantasy content, I don't have the time to think long-term. I don't have the time to tighten up my processes, because every single day I'm just grinding for that day or the next day, and it's kind of a curse within itself. It's a double-edged sword. You're making a lot of money. If you stop, you're not going to make that money, but you're also not going to have that much time to look long-term. I've had so much time to look long-term. I have a website in the works now. I've been trying to hire and outsource some of the work that I don't need to be in front of, some of the editing parts of it. I've been able to tighten up and make my thumbnails look a lot better, I think. I have my face on them. Of course they look better. Marketing strategy has been able to go into place. So I think it's been a blessing in disguise personally for me. But while I say that, I do want to say that I definitely do know that it is impacting lives without a question out there. So I'm not trying to be ignorant. I'm just trying to speak on my personal situation. I hope that every single one of you out there is staying safe, is staying healthy, and is surviving the financial hurdles that are coming from this. So this is what I just wanted to do. I wanted to get one video out there to kind of catch everybody up on where I am. I just want to say this all as a way to actually motivate people. If you have questions, if your family members are like, you can't make money just producing content in this space, you can. Again, it takes hard work. Sacrifices will have to be made. You partying all night every single night is not going to work if you're trying to grind, because I can guarantee you I'm grinding. Shout out to Nick BDGE, someone who's sort of inspired this vlog series. I could care less if only 500 people watch this. I hope that a couple of you do and make it to this point and get some useful out of this. But this is for myself. This is for me being able to document my processes. So shout out to Nick. He's been doing that on his vlogs. I think he's absolutely awesome and killing it in the space. Would love to work with him on some sort of collab one day. I think it's a lot of creative minds there and juices and flares that can go into it. But just work your ass off. Honestly, it's as simple as working your ass off, staying consistent, transparent, and having quality in your content. So that's what I mainly wanted to do here, kind of give you an idea of where my business makes its money, how much I'm making, the upside to it, for not me being a cocky bragster of making money on this. It's for me to actually give you realistic numbers to work with, to say, oh man, I can do this too. This 23-year-old kid started at 21 doing this. Why can't I do this? So I want to give you some sort of roadmaps to it. I want to give you an idea of where I'm getting currently impacted because of the coronavirus, and really just catch you up on my story these last year and a half or so since starting to create content. So thank you. My name is Sal Vetri. Please, if you watched all the way through this, might as well hit the subscribe button. If you did watch all the way through, let me know in the comments. I really don't know if more than one person, and it might just be like my mom, is going to watch this entire video. And I don't really care because I want to document it, but it would be nice to know if I helped anybody. If anybody had questions, you could always reach out to me on Twitter. It's on the screen, at Sal Vetri DFS. I might change that to at Sal Vetri, but we'll see. And then also in the comment section below. But thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next vlog and the next video.